In this video, I want to talk about my understanding, my interpretation of Roger Castillo's teachings. This is my own understanding. This is my own interpretation, and it might not be accurate representation of what Roger actually teaches. Roger is available on Facebook, on YouTube. Please feel free to contact him directly and to learn from him directly. He also offers satsang, retreats, and might be willing and available to answer questions too. He is very generous, very approachable, and he is the best source to learn about his method and his teaching. Thank you. So before we talk about Roger and his teaching, I think it is important to talk a little bit about Buddha's teaching, Buddhism, and a Western German philosopher inspired by those teachings. I think his name is Schopenhauer or Schopenhauer, difficult to pronounce for me. So his philosophy was that experience of life is primarily an experience of unease, restlessness, discomfort. Our body aches, our body pains, we get hungry, we get thirsty, we get disease, we feel sleepy, drowsy, and we experience all those sensations, all those feelings when the body is perfectly healthy, perfectly sane. We do not experience the body. If you pay close attention, you will notice that right now, in this very moment, you do not have a real experience of the body. Only part that you might really be aware of right now are the parts that are aching, paining, or hurting. All those signals, all those sensations that you are directly aware of right now are some form of pain, some form of discomfort. True health is not an experience. In reality, it is end of all experience. In spirituality, this is called peace. This is called nirvana. This is called shanti. To achieve this state, to achieve shanti, you do not attempt to get anything new. You do not try to achieve something new. In fact, it is the opposite. You remove what is already present. Just as in the case of discomfort, ache, pain in the body, in order to experience freedom from this pain, from this ache, from this sensation, you do not really need to get something new. You just need to remove the pain, the discomfort, the ache, and its cause that is already present. Once this pain is gone, once this ache is gone, once this discomfort is gone, the sensation is gone, the experience is gone, and what you experience is actually lack of all experience, lack of all sensation. That is your pure state. That is your reality. That is the body's reality. In Buddhism, it is called emptiness or shunyata. In spirituality, it is called shanti, peace. It is not gaining something new, but it is removing what is already present. Many teachings talk about removing ego, removing false sense of I, removing the illusion of free will, removing the illusion of control, removing the illusion of choice, removing the illusion of being a real, independent, time-bound entity, removing the illusion of being the real decider, real controller, real doer. Once we remove that, lot of worries, lot of stress, feelings like pride, blame, guilt goes away automatically, because all those rest on the illusion, the belief that we are really independent doers in control of our intelligence, our IQ, our brain, our aging, cell division, digestion, our thoughts, our ideas, our feelings, our emotions, the state of the world, the environment, the weather, the government, our own thinking, our own emotions, our own feelings, our own flow of hormones, health of the body, and the decisions that we take because of this, and actions that result from those decisions, and results that seem to happen because of those actions. Because we have this illusion this belief that we are an independent doer in control of what we think, what we feel, in control of our intelligence, our IQ, and in control of resulting decisions. That's why we have this feeling of guilt, blame, pride, arrogance, or we have regrets that I could have done better, I could have done differently, or that I should have done differently. All this lies on the belief that I am making my own decision independently and that I am in control of my cell division, my blood flow, my immune system, my digestion, how my brain dreams in the night, how my brain thinks in the day. Once this illusion is seen through, once this illusion goes away, those feelings, those discomfort also goes away. So Roger teaches, and Roger's teacher, according to Roger, was Ramesh Balsekar. So what Roger teaches, what Ramesh teaches, is that the belief of doership, the belief of being the independent controller, independent separate controller of our thoughts, feelings, emotions, intelligence, IQ, and the decisions that we make because of them, and actions that those decisions result into, and the consequences of those actions, this belief that we are doing it independently, separately, on our own, is the main cause of our suffering. And by suffering in this context, they mean psychological discomfort, psychological unease, not being okay with what is the present reality, psychologically, mentally, thinking that I should have done better, I could have done better, or I should do better, or I should do differently. This discomfort is what Roger and Ramesh call suffering. Another key aspect of Roger and Ramesh's teaching, which is also present in many other forms of spirituality, is the understanding that it is in the nature of things to change. Everything changes. Something changes rapidly, like life and death of a goldfish. Something changes gradually, like aging of my body, aging of your body. Something changes very slowly, like sun, which takes billions of years to finally die, or the moon, or the galaxy, or the universe. The universe that started about 12.5 billion years ago, according to scientific calculation. An universe that is still changing, still expanding, according to scientific calculation. This changes lot slower, but these two changes. And other things change even more rapidly. like your thinking, your mind, or what in India, in Hindi, Sanskrit is called manas or man. Here in English, it is called monkey mind. Its nature is to jump from one object to another, one sense to another, one experience to another, and it changes quite rapidly. Some of these changes are pleasurable to us because they match our biological preference, our psychological preference, our emotional preference, or they match our belief system, or they support our body, our biological needs. Those could be finding a new life partner that we like, or making a lot of money, or winning a lottery, or making money in a stock market, or making profit on our house, our trade, or hearing about end of a disease, or our son, daughter getting good grades, or our parents being healthy, or it could be a cup of coffee, a good chocolate, a good, nice, comfortable bed, a nice vacation. And some of these could be something that we do not prefer, that we do not like, or that causes us discomfort, like being hungry, being sleepy, being drowsy, being thirsty, or economy doing bad, losing job, being laid off, having the fear of being laid off. Now sitting in front of boss and boss giving us warning or giving us bad news. So all these scenarios automatically cause a reaction inside us, reaction inside our body, reaction at the level of biology, and they also cause a reaction of mind, a reaction in our thinking, in our emotions, in our assessment, our interpretation. If it is something good, we feel pleasure. We experience momentary happiness. We experience momentary satisfaction, joy. If it is something not favorable, we experience momentarily pain, discomfort. Here, Ramesh, Roger, do not use the word suffering. They simply use the word pleasure and pain. Pleasure is something that we like. Pain is something that we find uncomfortable, painful. And some of these reactions are biological, are natural, are automatic. We do not control them. They happen on their own. What the spiritual training, spiritual teaching, meditation, insight, understanding does is help us manage, control the intensity, the depth and duration of those automatic reactions. Once we understand that it is nature of things to change and that we do not have perfect, complete control over the outcomes, over what happens. In fact, we hardly have any control. We do not even control our own breathing, our own aging, our own heart beating, our own digestion, immune system, cell division, our own IQ, intelligence. We hardly control anything. So once we understand that we do not have a real control, we do not even control our own thoughts, our own reactions, our own emotional, psychological response or reaction that arise automatically on its own. And very likely it is arising even now. As you watch this, as you hear this, even the agreement, disagreement that might occur, they are occurring on their own. And they occur whether you want it or not. They occur whether you like it or not. In fact, you do not even control your own likes and dislikes, your own preferences. You are biologically, socially programmed to like certain things, dislike certain things, and prefer certain things over other. So things change without our control, without our desire, without our permission, without needing our permission. Our own body changes, and reaction to those changes also arise automatically. In most cases, biologically, without needing our permission, without needing our agreement. Reactions too happen automatically. But once we understand this process, once this understanding goes deep, then we understand that to be a natural, expected process, which is ultimately beyond our control. And it's not a matter of choice, it's not a matter of will, it's not a matter of real control. So with that understanding, now those reactions, those automatic reactions, those automatic responses, those automatic likes and dislikes do not turn into dukkha. We do not brood over them. We do not think over them for a long time, because there is natural understanding that I am not a real doer, I am not the real cause, I am not the real controller of what happens, the results, nor I am real controller of my own reactions, my own response, my own thoughts, feelings, or emotions. And with this understanding, all reactions are momentary. And as we throw a pebble in a lake, there are waves, but after some time, after a few seconds, leakage, again calm. Same thing happens to our mind, to our psyche, to our own emotional state with this understanding. Momentary, automatic, biological reactions do arise, but they disappear. And what is left is peace, or shanti, or equanimity, calm, tranquility. And this shanti, this peace, this being okay with what is, this understanding that I am not the real doer, I am not the real controller, I am not the real decider. I do not control what happens, nor do I truly control my reactions, my automatic biological reactions to them, is what Ramesh and Roger call enlightenment. This is the understanding that my peace, my shanti, is not dependent on external circumstances or on what happens or the results. Momentary disturbance, momentary reactions, automatic biological reactions can still happen, but now they subside quickly, leaving deep peace, shanti, behind. So again, to summarize, two main teaching: I am not the real doer. What happens is not under my complete control. I do not even control my own cell division, digestion, immune system, intelligence, IQ, or my own thoughts, emotions, feelings, or automatic reactions. My peace, my shanti is not to be found in external situation, external circumstances, in what happens, in the results. What happens is God's will, universal will, which is just to say that everything is interconnected, interdependent, or what Buddha called dependent originations. One thing causes another, and that causes another. And this chain of events, according to scientists, have started billions of years ago. And even scientists do not know what was there before that. One can say it has been going on forever, from time immeasurable. And because everything is one whole, the entire universe is one. There is no separate entity that can control what happens, results separately, independently. The best that can happen is this knowledge, this understanding to arise. And we cannot even hurry this understanding. This understanding too occurs on its own, automatically. And this understanding might be occurring right now. You don't have to do that. You don't have to try to do that. This happens on its own. Just as body digests food, You do not ask it to digest. You do not force it to digest. Digestion happens. Just as brain creates dreams in night time on its own, brain right now is understanding it on its own. You do not need to force it. In fact, the very act of forcing is enforcing the idea of being a separate real doer, which is totally against what Roger or what Ramesh attempt to describe, teach, or say. But just by listening, just by reading, brain works, it understands. Like anything in life, like a seed going into plant growing into tree giving flowers and fruits, this too takes time. But it does happen, and it happens on its own.